Karina. Yep.
We are aware that senior government officers, let me say senior politicians in Kenya, and some not so senior, went and participated in the campaigns of the President Yoweri Museveni in Uganda. This has raised a lot of questions about Kenya's interference with the internal affairs of friendly countries. I wanted to state here that the Minister for East African Community must come out clearly on the policy of government. Is it Kenya's policy to participate in presidential elections in a partisan manner of all these countries that are making up East African Community? We are therefore very surprised that a senior politician in Kenya has been moving around the East African states, lobbying on behalf of the government of Kenya for the candidature of a Kenyan citizen for the position of the East African Community Secretary General. And yet, at its formation, the current holder of the office of the Cabinet Secretary held a position, even if it was in an interim capacity. He held the position of the Secretary General for the East African Community. Therefore, Kenya is not eligible to hold this position again after Tanzania. And yet we have Rwanda and Burundi still waiting on the wings.
120 million US dollars exports to Rwanda. And the imports from Rwanda to our country is only 3 million US dollars. So we have a differential of over 117 million US dollars in our favor. That trade deficit is in favor of Kenya. So you cannot allow a partner state like that one that gives us that kind of business in terms of trade deficit in our favor. We want to condemn them, and we want to allow Kenya, we want to ask Kenya to allow Rwanda and Burundi to voluntarily say that they are not able to produce a candidate for the position of Secretary General. The reason why President Museveni is inviting the Vice President and the Prime Minister to go to Uganda and campaign for him, and in the process promise them that they can give us the position of Secretary General against the provision of the treaty, it is because President Museveni wants to be the first president of the East African Community when we have political federation. And he hopes that if he supports Kenya in this illegality, Kenya would support him to be president of the political federation. This, as young parliamentarians, we are against it. We want Kenya that respects order.